Good morning. I want to welcome you to my Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. Now, Hidden Treasure Moments, it's all about everyday people who are literally going through extraordinary things, and they have stories to tell about it. My goal with this podcast is to give everyone, whether you're at a low point in your life, whether you're climbing that ladder, to give you a roadmap on how to get there because of these amazing men and women who I have on my show. And today is no different than any other day. I have the exquisite, the beautiful, the amazing Shirley Coates. Now, I have known Miss Shirley Coates, Mrs. Shirley Coates, for like at least 10 years.
I think more.
12?
At least.
13? So I met Shirley, many moons ago. I was a real estate agent, and I would see Shirley at the Riverside Chamber of Commerce. And she was just always dressed so nicely. She was just so well put together. And I knew that, if I was going to have anyone mentor me, it would have to be Shirley. So I think I even walked up to her at one of the Riverside Chamber meetings. And I was like, Shirley, I'm a brand new agent and I would love it if I could learn from you. Well, Shirley is, she was doing real estate, but now she does, she has a passion project. She has something that is just so huge, literally so extraordinary, and it's called the Society of Extraordinary Women. Mm-hmm. And Shirley, you're the founder and CEO, or president.
Yes, and founder. CEO.
Yes.
You were right.
Thank you. So if you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your organization, your mission, just kind of let us in.
Oh, yes. Well, I started the Society of Extraordinary Women after I semi-retired. So for my third time, I actually worked in the communications industry as an executive. I started my own aerospace electronics company, and then went into international real estate. And along the way, I always wanted to mentor young women. Always wanted to help and inspire others. Mm-hmm. And so many people helped me along the way. So I wanted to be sure that I would be able to give back.
Yes.
So on the day that I decided to retire from my international real estate business, I thought, as I was driving down the 91 freeway in so much traffic, that what could I do to really give back? Because I felt that I had led an extraordinary life. Not that there was just I was so wealthy and everything just went perfect. Yeah. I had a lot of ups, a lot of downs.
Yes.
So many.
Yes.
So many. Sometimes just complete flat line. But
I understand. Been there. Yes.
So it was but in all, it was still extraordinary. And I said, what can I do? And that word just kept coming to me. It has to be something extraordinary. And actually, that was the start of the Society of Extraordinary Women. So I called some of my friends together, associates, and some were educators, some were in technical fields, and we sat in my living room and talked about what could we do to make a difference. And of course, I had just read an article in the Press Enterprise. This was now about 5 years ago, and it said that at that time, it said 30% of our students weren't graduating from high school.
And that's all students or minority students?
No, this was now, at that time, it said all students.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh my gosh, this can't be true.
Yeah.
This can't be true. So I started to do some investigation, and I also looked at data to support that. And I saw that it was true. And not only that, if for minorities, it was worse. Mm-hmm. So it's better now. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy, and I'm hoping we could. Well, I know that we contributed to that. Yes. As well, but it is a lot better now. And so what we decided to do, the first thing we decided to do was to start a school. Mm-hmm. And I wanted that school to really make an impact. It wasn't going to be, when I say school, it's a Saturday program, so we call it a Saturday Academy. And it's designed to enhance the students' work when they go back to their regular school.
Now, do students come willingly? Like, I get in the mail all the time from, from Harupa School District, I get like, oh, we have Saturday school.
Yeah.
And truly, my son is like, oh, heck no, mommy, I do not want to go to Saturday school. Like, how do you get the kids, or do they, like, they only have to come once and then they're like, I'm hooked?
No, this is, our school actually started as a leadership academy. So because we looked at what was causing these students to
drop out. Yeah.
And of course the change starts at middle school, especially for girls. And by the way, our school is a girls' academy.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll start.
Because I got a little boy.
Oh, we're thinking about starting with boys too. But the thing is that in middle school, this is where the change starts to occur. They start to have like self-identify. Their esteem starts to be lowered. They're looking at they're affected by their peers, peer pressure. All these type of things. Their image is really important to them, and they start to sometimes. Now girls are starting to act out, and even in recent studies, it's even showing that girls are actually acting out more than the boys. This is so,
and in different ways.
Yeah.
Because my son is only 8, but I'm starting to see like how girls are kind of drawn to him, what they do, what they say, things that they talk about, and it's scary.
It is scary. So we wanted to find out, well, what can we do to break this, to close that achievement gap. So we decided to develop a curriculum that focused on self-esteem, and well, these are the things. Let me go back a little bit. The things that caused this was self-esteem, peer pressure, and parental support. Now there's many other factors, of course, but those are the 3 items that we decided to focus on. So if you build a child's self-esteem and make them feel that you can do anything that you want to, you can be anything that you want to be. And of course, I had just read a book by Carol Dweck. She's a professor at Stanford who wrote a book, Growth Mindset. And I actually made that part of our program as well, to have a positive growth mindset for the students. And also,
what does that mean to have a positive growth mindset?
Because it's the same thing. It's actually, well, bottom line, since we don't have a lot of time today, it's a great book, by the way. Carol Dweck. It's a great book. But bottom line, it is saying you can do anything that you wanted to do. It takes work. It's not going to be, you can't say, I want to be a scientist. And it just happens.
But I just want to play video games to do it.
But you can find out, well, how do I become a scientist? What does it take? Because, well, let me give you an idea. I think this goes well with what I'm saying. You can be anything. We have a student. I don't like to label students, but they said he's a D student.
He.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Was she.
Okay.
Put it on my boys. Excuse me, boys. She's a D student.
Okay.
Right? So her mom brought it to school and said she needs to do something because she's acting just really dropping classes, all of this. So we don't have a grade level. If you want to work, we take the students.
Okay.
If you just agree to come, we'll take the students. So she came in at first like this.
Because she was like my son. Wasn't trying to be in Saturday school.
Okay, so mom wants me to be here.
Right.
So we started talking about we started talking about self-esteem. What does it mean? We started talking about leadership. Well, I saw her start to raise her head, and then the activities that we have in the class, of course, made her interact with other kids, and then of course she connected with another girl in the class. And then the next week we went to aviation class, and they all learned to fly, right? So all of my students, if you're in the class, you will learn to fly a plane. You stay with the program because each session it changes each I was going to say each session there's a new class that progresses. So now anyway, we are at the airport, and once we finished the first ground school, they said, and now each of you will be able to get into the plane and fly and land. And she looked up and she said, I get to fly? I'm gonna fly? And I said, yes. And in this situation, they put the student in the front of the plane and the instructor at the back. So they have all the instruments right in front of them. So it feels as if they're flying for the first time. It's so exhilarating. This student, now everyone changes once they go up.
Right.
Because of I didn't know I was going to be able to fly the plane today. So everyone goes, she came down and her life changed.
Wow.
Because she said, I want to be a pilot. I just decided what I want to be. I want to be a pilot. And I said, well, then if you want to be a pilot, you know that you still have to pilots have to understand math. You know, there's the science, all about, lift and drag and instrumentation and all of that. I want to learn it. Well, fast forward today, that student is now going into the 12th grade, has a 3.8 grade average.
Wow.
And planning on to go into college, and is actually still in the flight school, and wants to become a pilot. And I think on the ways that
gives me the chills, literally.
Oh my gosh, and so this is how we change.
Yes.
I see that. That's just one example. And then of course.
Well, and I have to say, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to say, I am an example. Literally, you don't know the effect you have. When you throw the pebble in the pond, the ripple that you make in the world. And if you never would have mentored me, I never would have wrote a book. I never would have become a messenger. My life would not be what it is today. Literally.
Yeah.
It's profound, the effect that one person, because I'm changing the world. It's profound the effect one person can make.
Right.
And that when you take these little girls, you open up and create what's possible. The whole world changes.
Oh, it does, and that's why, when you said that, I was thinking about our mission is to empower women to discover their extraordinary selves.
Yes.
Because like you were already extraordinary.
I was hiding.
You just had to bring it out. So that's what we do. So many times it's there already. Sometimes that's the same thing. It's the self-esteem. It's that confidence to say, I can do it. I'm really good at this.
Yes.
And so actually that's where it started with me. There was a little lady. I always bring this lady up when I was in 3 years old in Mount Pleasant, Texas. This lady named Miss Carprew came to our town, and she started a school for 3-year-old, 4-year-olds, because they wouldn't let her teach in the regular school. So she started her own school, and she taught us as if we were adults. So I know we don't have a lot of times, but I will tell you that by the time we were 5 or 6 year old, we were doing multiplication, division, not 6 because we were under 5, because then we left there and went to kindergarten. When we got to kindergarten, they didn't know what to do with us. We were already,
right.
1 + 1, you paint the whole time? Okay, we paint and then we go on to algebra.
Yes.
And so I'm 5 and they don't know what to do.
Yes.
So when we moved to California, they just said, well, I guess we just have to put her in the 3rd grade because, and my mom was like, well, she's only 6. But that's because we don't put restrictions on children. As much as they can absorb. And you know how much they can absorb? They just have to be directed.
Yes.
And so the other thing,
but they can absorb positive, but they can also absorb negative.
Right.
It's really dependent on the parent to really structure their life.
Exactly. So again, that comes up to our up to the things that we focus on when I said the self-esteem, peer pressure, and parental support. It's important because I wouldn't have been that successful at the start of my life had it not been for my parents who gave me that support to say, Shirley, you're a star. I was called, the star of the family. So
you have brothers and sisters?
I do.
I'm sure they all appreciated that.
My sister. So, and then I believed it. You know, I'm gonna, cause you know, well, actually, my parents were really good. So all of my sisters became, you know, they're very successful in their own right. They really are. But this school is something that I think when you say changing lives, so it's not just about the leadership, because I have to tell you about our STEM program as well.
And I'm going to cut you off really quick so we can take a really super quick break. But when we come back, that's the first thing we're going to jump into is the STEM program. And, you know, I want to talk about limits and not limiting our kids. And so we'll talk about that a little bit too. But just give us a second, y'all. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Kara Adams. I'm the author of Hidden Treasure. I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a cancer survivor, and what I want to do is invite you to my one-day VIP gym retreat. It's at the beautiful Mission Inn. The retreat will be on May 11th. It is from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. The retreat is for anyone who puts themselves last, because you're putting your family first, you're putting your career first, and what we want to do is to put you first for once. So if you are looking for a day of pampering and to just be treated like the king or queen that you are, please feel free to come and to join us. Find out how to sign up for it if you go to my website, which is www.karaadams.com, and I hope to see you there.
The Monday morning men's group gets together because we're just some brothers hanging out having coffee, and we need a safe space where we can talk and be ourselves.
Hidden Treasure was written for women, but the added bonus for all you men out there is you finally get to know what we are thinking. If you want to live a life you love, if you want your relationships to be stronger, then purchase your copy today.
Hi, I want to welcome you back to our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. This podcast today is with the extraordinary Shirley Coates, and we're talking all about kind of women, children, not having limits, not having boundaries. Well, I mean, you need some because you don't want to, go crazy and set stuff on fire. But really, the programs that she offers at her school, which is Society of Extraordinary Women, and the Leadership Academy. And when we left off, we were talking about the STEM program and what you're doing to further science and education and STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math in girls.
Yes. Science, STEM, all of this. Okay, and the school, by the way, is Ignite Leadership and STEM Academy.
Okay, Ignite Leadership
and STEM Academy.
And how do they get there? Is that how they look it up?
Yes, they can look it up, Ignite Leadership. You can look it up, Ignite Leadership Academy, or Ignite Leadership and STEM Academy. They can also look it up on our website at soew.org. That stands for Society of Extraordinary Women, soew.org. And then there's a link that takes them to the Ignite Leadership.
Okay, and then I'll put the links, I'll put all of that on the page so it's super easy for everyone to find.
Right.
Okay.
We've been doing this, as I mentioned, for about 5 years, and it's just grown. And we've now mentored hundreds of girls. And of course, the thing that we're so proud of now is our STEM program, which focuses on GIS technology. And GIS technology is the cutting edge technology now, because it involves coding, it involves mapping, community mapping.
And you talk a lot about community mapping.
And everything that you can think of in technology is involved in GIS. So if there are more than 1,000 applications that you can use for this technology. So what we're doing is not only just exposing them to the technology or saying learn to code, but then what do you do with it? What if I want to be a physician? Do I still need that? We show you how that works.
Oh,
what if I want to be whatever it is?
What about race car driver?
We show you how that works. That's right.
Because there are G-forces.
Yeah,
there's all that.
Everything that it's used in every technology, and in every no matter what industry. It's used there. So we show them how that applies, because many times we have students say, I don't want to go into technology. And they don't realize that everything is technologically driven.
Yes.
So when you realize that in the hospitals, I want to be a doctor. Do you know that in emergency rooms, they're using GIS, like mapping, to find out where is the patient? When the patient comes to the emergency room, how do they track them? Because they're going in room B, this was in room F, this was in room C, right? And they all have to have different medications, and they all need them right away. How do we keep up with all of that? They're using GIS. When you call the fire department, they need to come to your house right away. They're using GIS to say, what's the best way to get there? That's tracking, that's mapping.
Oh, wow. And then even for like technology, like you think me, a podcaster, author, speaker, like I had to figure all of this out.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be able to edit and download and, create a synergy between the microphones, the cameras, the lights, like all of that.
Right.
There is some technology that's involved.
There's technology involved in that. And even in finding, there's so much data available that you say, well, what types of people like this program? Who are my best speakers? Where are they? That data is in the mapping software of GIS technology. And so, I think we collaborate with a great initiative. It's Mapping Black California initiative, who actually helps us develop the data, and also Esri, which is one of the top, not one of the top, but at the top here in GIS technology, a world leader, and they actually provide our computers. So I want to give a little shout out to them,
please,
as well as all, and so many of our sponsors and our donors that make this program possible. Because our goal is especially to reach those students who would otherwise not have a program like this.
That is very good. And now that, today's show is a little shorter than normal, it's 30 minutes instead of the hour that we usually go. But, I want to kind of wind down and close with, why girls? Why not boys? Like, what made your focus kind of be on little girls?
Because, for me, that was, I think it started with myself. And as I grew and I started to look at data more, I realized that girls are actually affected most by the changes in technology, by the workforce. We're talking about gender equality, all of this, and especially as we grow into this more technological age, I noticed that not only girls and women are being left behind. And even now you would think that it's better, but you see we have an initiative now to close that gap. And so when I started with girls, first of all, one of the reasons I believe that we don't rise to the top, they talk about the glass ceiling, we need to break that, but the thing is that still starts with us. It still starts with that self-esteem. I believe in myself. I know that I can do it. And don't take no for an answer. There's some things that I did when I went into the aerospace electronics. That is a male-driven field. And I just never thought that I couldn't do it. I believed that I could. I believed that I could, and no matter what they said, you're not going to be successful in that field. Well, I ended up being very successful in that field. The same thing with international real estate, where I worked in an area where there was mostly no one like me. There were no women of color, and as a matter of fact, they said, "You're going to get eaten alive." I said, "They haven't met me yet."
Yeah. Well, it's funny. When I look at myself and I look at my self-esteem and where I've come from and what I've done, for me, it wasn't so much that I didn't think I could. It was that I was scared if I did, what that meant. Like sometimes I think even little girls, when they know that they're smart, when they know that, that they can do it, they don't want to because they don't want to stand out.
Right.
They don't want to be in the light. They don't want the focus to be on them because it's supposed to be on the little boy.
Right.
It's supposed to be on somebody else. And so being able to, address that and address the fact that you're only in your purpose when you're shining your light.
You have to really shine your light. And just one little story before we close here is that I have an excellent student, or I have an excellent student. I'm mentoring her right now. Graduated from medical school in forensics, right? And has done so much research all over the country in getting her degree. And then when we talk about it, she says, "Oh, that was nothing." I'm like, "What? She's published. She done I'm not going to say her name, so I'm not going to say what her research was, but it was really unique in so much that she caught the attention of her professors at Boston. So I think that's one of the things that we play ourselves down.
Yes.
If that was a guy that would say, I'm doctor and I've done this and I've done this.
Right.
And we say, "Oh, that was, I did that." So we want to have the women and girls to step up and said, "Yes, I did this research. I created that."
Yep.
It's okay to say, "I did that."
Yes, and to be proud of yourself.
To be proud of it. It's not. So sometimes we think, well, people are going to think I'm all of that, and I tell them, you are all of that. You understand?
That piece is so important.
That piece is.
And I wonder, how much of it is nurture versus nature, because you think of peacocks, and the male peacocks are the big flamboyant with the big tails, and the girls are all some part of nature. It might be in us. It's something that we have to bring out. It's something we have to nurture to let little girls, to let us know that it's okay to be you.
Right.
It's okay to be as bright as God made you.
Yes. That and then one way that we also showcase this a little bit. So this is a little commercial for our.
Please, commercial away.
For our conversation series. Each quarter we have a conversation series where we.
One day you'll invite me.
You've been invited.
Okay, thank you.
You were there.
Was I?
The last one.
That was at the award.
You got an award.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all.
That's okay. You're good. But what we do, because you were at the award ceremony.
Yes.
So it's a culmination of all that we've done during the year. But the conversation series brings together top technologists, scientists, engineers, educators, and civic leaders to talk about ideas that impact our community and impact the world.
And these aren't just any people.
Oh no. That's why I wanted I wanted to highlight this, because I'm so excited about the people that we have. Even in the past, we've had the top technologists, some from Disney, who are Imagineers. We've had Imagineers from Disney. We have guests, Idris Sendou. Many people familiar with this young man who has worked with Elon Musk, who has worked with on the software for Snapchat.
Wow.
So then, and of course we've had Dr. Dawn Wright. She is the top oceanographer in the world.
Not just in Riverside.
Not in Riverside, in the world. And several other people, I'm thinking there's so many. I'm trying to think of all of them that have come, but many of the leaders in Riverside and of course in the inland region who have excelled in their field. Virginia Blumenthal, Tamika, Dr. Tamika Smith Jones.
And she's the AD.
She's the athletic director at UCR.
Yes.
A Division I school.
Yes.
Yes. Go UCR.
Over all athletics.
Yes.
Not just over the girls.
Yes,
over
yes.
everything.
Over everything. So it's just been phenomenal. I mean, I could go on and on with the list of people that have coming, and we're going to have our next one coming up on September 19th at the Culver Center in Riverside. So we are looking for, you'll hear more information about that.
Yes.
As well. Yes.
And do you have a link on that? Is it already up that I can put on the...
Yes, there's as a matter of fact, we've just got all of our speakers confirmed, so we will be having the link, and I'll get that to you.
Perfect, perfect. Well, seeing everything that you've been through, seeing, why you focus on little girls, like, is there a plan for boys?
There is a plan for boys probably next year. Actually, my son is working on that, and we plan to introduce that next year.
Okay.
But there is one thing that we're doing in the community right now that will involve boys and the community. So women and men, boys and girls, to our mobile tech hub. We're
ages
is teenagers to adults.
Oh, okay.
So everyone can come.
So that's like 13 and up. Okay.
Yes. But what we're going to do is we're going to be teaching this technology, teaching them how to use the software, because in Riverside they already have Smart Riverside. There's actually a hub in Riverside where you can actually go in and find out what's going on in the city. But what we found is that there's several people that still don't know how to get to that point. How do I access it? How do I use it? So now we're going to have classes teaching them how to use this technology and how it can help them also in their daily life, in their community, and also they can have an impact on the world.
Oh, that is so cool. So we'll put everything that I can get my little hands on.
Yeah.
I'll put it kind of in the links for this particular podcast so everyone has access to it. And I just think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. When you think about kind of, for you said your word was extraordinary, that's the word that kept rumbling around in your life. Mine has always been treasure, that's the word that has always rumbled around, that's what I am, that's what I need to give, that's what I need to open up. And so, when you think about what you've treasured and what you treasure in your life, what are the things that you hold closest to your heart?
The things that I hold closest to my heart, of course, the first thing I could say is my family. I'm just a real family person, but when you think about professionally, it's passion. For me, it's really, and that's sometimes an overused word, but that passion is the passion to do, the passion to be, and the passion to keep working on it. I just was reading an article about Michelle Obama, and it would say she wrote this book, Becoming, and it said continue to keep becoming. And so that's part of that passion, that to want to make it better, and even when there are obstacles, that when you have that passion and drive, you will continue. So I say I focus on passion, purpose. That it's so important that you work with a purpose, and if you haven't found your purpose, find your purpose and focus on that, because sometimes people will focus on, well, this makes more money, I'll get more, but
this title is bigger,
yes, and if you focus on your purpose, or you could say your mission, then that's going to give you more satisfaction in life. So mine is passion, purpose and professionalism. And so I do everything as professional as I can. And when we take that into being extraordinary, when you come to our events, we try to make our events extraordinary. We want everyone to have an experience in doing that. So that's really what drives me.
That is so, it's funny that you say passion and purpose and driven and drive, because really that's where we are. That's the only way that you will find true peace in your life is to figure out what your purpose in life is my feeling. And so, okay. So, I was thinking this was going to be a short episode, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Shirley go because Shirley has a very, very important meeting. And so I want to make sure I honor your time. But I'm going to talk about my purpose and my passion as soon as we come back. So I'd like to thank you so much, Shirley, for being a part of this Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. It was hard for us to get together, but there was a reason. There was a reason for it. So I will be right back.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kara Adams. I'm the author of Hidden Treasure. I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a cancer survivor, and what I want to do is invite you to my one-day VIP gym retreat. It's at the beautiful Mission Inn. The retreat will be on May 11th. It is from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. The retreat is for anyone who puts themselves last because you're putting your family first, you're putting your career first, and what we want to do is to put you first for once. So if you are looking for a day of pampering and to just be treated like the king or queen that you are, please feel free to come and to join us. Find out how to sign up for it if you go to my website, which is www.karaadams.com, and I hope to see you there.
The Monday morning men's group gets together because we're just some brothers hanging out having coffee. And we need a safe space where we can talk and be ourselves.
Hidden Treasure was written for women, but the added bonus for all you men out there is you finally get to know what we are thinking. If you want to live a life you love, if you want your relationships to be stronger, then purchase your copy today.
Hi, so welcome back to my Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. Shirley Coates was an amazing guest. She had to run, and we left off talking about purpose and passion and truly living a life of purpose. And one of the things I have been talking about is my VIP Live the Life You Love retreat. It's going to be on May 11th. It's going to be at the Mission Inn in Riverside. And I'm going to be really, really transparent. I was super scared to put something so big on. Like, how dare I put something so big on? But I will say that God and I, we're getting along really well these days, and I have been really obedient. And so part of my purpose in life, my mission as a messenger, is to help everybody, help women, help men discover what their purpose in life is, discover what will truly make them happy. My goal isn't to have everyone quit their jobs and go become Sharmas, but it's, figuring out on the weekend, if you love horticulture, if you, love to sail, whatever that thing is, being able to put it and bring it into your life, and to be able to remove all of those roadblocks, all of those rocks that have been placed in your life that tell you why you can't be who you truly are intended to be, why you aren't enough, that the goal of our VIP Live the Life You Love retreat is to start removing them and replacing that discussion with something that's really going to help you enter into who you've always meant to be. Like, when I was talking with Shirley, for me, it was always that I didn't want to be in the spotlight. I didn't want people to notice me. I didn't want to be bright. I wanted to kind of live with a shelter. It felt safer. But, I realized after I was diagnosed with cancer, after I survived the treatments, that life isn't about being sheltered. Life isn't about being safe. Life is about living. Somebody was telling me, she was having a conversation with, a dear friend who was passing from breast cancer. She was losing her fight. And the words she told to her were, live every life. Don't live every moment. Do not be scared to live your life to the fullest, because we only have one. And so that's what that day is about. That's what this podcast is about. That's what my book, Hidden Treasure, is about. It's about living your life to the fullest. Not mine, not somebody else's, but if you want to be a salsa instructor and that's truly your passion, you love to see, men and women like just getting together, feeling the music, doing something positive, then by all means go and do that. When I look at the people that I'm surrounded by that are in my life, when I think about Carla with Deluxe Boutique, which you can find on Instagram, she has a website, she's truly in her passion. When I go and she shops and she picks these amazing outfits for me, I see somebody who is truly in their purpose. She loves making women feel beautiful. And when I put her clothes on, I know I look and I feel beautiful. But she goes so much further than just, how she dresses women. She has a boot camp that she puts on. She has a modeling contest that she's putting together to help women get into their most beautiful selves, to become healthier, to learn how to dress to their body shape, to learn how to walk, to learn how to model. Women who never in their wildest imaginations thought that was part of their life. And that is her passion and her purpose, and it just overflows on everyone she's around. When I think of Gigi and Marcy at Creative Solutions Marketing and Printing, this is their passion. Their passion is to be able to provide, printing, to be able to provide materials, to be able to provide promotional marketing pieces so that people like me can have the most professional appearance, the most professional setup. This is beautiful. If it wasn't for what they did. And Marcy, I love you. I love you, love you, love you. Marcy, who is on the production side of Creative Solutions Marketing and Printing, she will be on you until it's perfect. She made sure my bricks look like bricks. We went back and forth 10 or 15, literally times to make sure that my tension banner was the best it could possibly be, which now allows me to tape my podcast satellite. It allows me to move it. It allows me to go into Morris Media Studios or be in Riverside at my husband's race car track, at our race car track. And it just gives me flexibility, and it allows me to feel like I could be the best I could possibly be, that I could present myself in all of the glory that is me without hiding, without feeling safe. I am doing all of this right now. I set it all up myself. I put the camera, I did everything because I know that what I'm saying, it'll reach at least one person. One person will comment. A few people will that what I have to say, that it is important, it's worth saying, it's worth putting out in the world. And for the people who don't connect with it, don't feel, it supports what they're doing, or it's I had somebody, I sent this email out and I had somebody, send me an email back, and he said, like, you're a charlatan, what you say and what you're doing, it doesn't help people. Your whole point is to make a living off of people's insecurities. And that is his point of view. That's how he feels, and that's fine. But there are so many other people in the world who don't feel like that. And so I can't let one person's view of what I'm doing stop the purpose God has put in my heart. Because, he's going through his thing, but that's the enemy trying to redirect my focus. And I'm just not letting it happen. When nothing works in your life, you have to create a new path. You have to take a new road. You have to recognize that the journey, that it's not meant to be easy. That's the whole point in life. If it was easy, we wouldn't appreciate it. If it was easy, we wouldn't recognize the work it takes to get to this point. And so Troy and I, it's funny, we were having a conversation last night, and we were saying, like, when in my other life, working for, financial institutions, like, I had this little thought that, I needed to learn more about the different areas, not just marketing. But it wasn't really, in that environment, it was more of a stay in your lane environment. Like, you don't waste your time learning this when really your expertise is this. And I get it, but I will say that it's a disservice. It does a disservice to everyone involved, because if you have somebody around you who wants to learn, feed them knowledge, let them grow. And so when I was no longer in that environment and I'm doing this, I work harder than I ever have in my entire life. I get up at 6 a.m., I'm still working at 9, 10, 11, 12, depending on what the project is, but I'm doing what I love. It doesn't feel like work because I'm in my purpose. I'm putting my message in the world. It feels like it's just what I'm supposed to be doing. And so with that, thank you for being on this journey with me. Please share my podcast. Whatever piece of it you listen to, I hope you get something amazing out of it. Everything I do, every word I speak, every action I take is because I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know in my heart that this is the walk I'm supposed to be on. And so I hope you feel it. I hope you appreciate the transparency, because sometimes I might disclose a little too much, but really it's with the intent of care and because I want to change the world. So please like this video, please connect with me, please share it. I'm here every Thursday from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on, Google Play, on iTunes. Hopefully we are everywhere that you are. So until we meet again, please be good to yourself and be good to others.